18 games or 16 out of 18 games. Kindred follow-up. Interesting because Spirit actually played that yesterday. So jungle champions taking a hit here from Fnatic.
Okay, we talked about Lissandra, how you have to ban it against Febiven, at least in my opinion. Fnatic saying they don't want to first pick the Tahm Kench because they're expecting Lulu probably to come in as the last ban. But Fnatic were basically saying Diamond is the big carry in the early game for Unicorns of Love, so he's the guy we look to target. I think Alistar is a perfectly fine first pick. To me, that is basically why they banned Tahm Kench, saying, you know what, we want to put value in getting the best support in our mind, instead of getting a Tahm Kench first pick. So they banned that one away, and also you avoid Unicorns leaving both Tahm Kench Lulu and taking that OP pick trade that we often see.
So Noxiak, second time playing Alistar, he went 0-2-8 last time he played that game.
You almost have to go Kalista now if you're Unicorn.
That's what I was going to say.
Kalista, Alistar is so good together, especially against the Ryze. Like, you can shut him down in teamfights so effectively with double CC, so I think this is smart from Unicorn to love. Ryze is still a power pick, but he's a risky one. He needs the team around him, especially the jungler in the early game. And that kind of shuts down what Unicorns have been doing in the early game, because I feel like the freedom Diamond has in the early game to pick whatever lane to set up with his side lanes where he wants to gank gets kind of shut down a little bit if you have a Ryze sitting in the mid lane, because he needs you to babysit him. And also Fnatic can obviously see it so early, so they can draft a comp with, you know, good amounts of either poke or good amounts of engage to shut him down.
So poke, Corki's still up. Lucian's still up as well, completely fallen off in favor this week in comparison to last. But
Corki would be good.
Should expect the Corki again flex, so is the Graves.
I like
Flex
this.
top or jungle, so Fnatic still with more options to play their hand.
I really think this is a strong pick and ban phase from Fnatic. Again, all the flex picks, they haven't shown anything other than Alistar's support. And I like Graves as well in some of these siege comps with like multiple AD carries, because he has great wave clear, good poke with the Q. If someone is standing next to that turret, it's very easy for you to shoot your Q end of the line into the turret, and it will proc instantly and deal a ton of damage. And people get caught out then, and you can then burst him down with your ulti as well. So I really like this setup against the Ryze, because again, he struggles in the early stages of the game, and his wave clear is so difficult to use when people are sieging on you. So I really like what Fnatic is doing.
For Fnatic, showing again a completely different face. Last week they ran the same comp twice. This week, completely different. They have double AD carries. One of them maybe in the jungle. We'll see if Gamsu wants to run it up top. Rek'Sai and Thresh. So Diamondprox electing to let the Lee Sin go. What does Spirit run in the jungle?
He has played Zac before.
Or does Gamsu play top?
Yeah, if Fnatic wants another tank, you take the Zac here. For him, Olaf is available. I don't think it's a great jungle pick at the moment though. Coming in for Spirit, Lee Sin is there if he wants early game. I know he likes to play in Italy. We saw it at IEM. We've seen it before.
Only saw it at IEM.
We only saw it. I think potentially pick a top laner who can flex.
So that's locked in.
That's like, okay, that's locked in. Okay, so that's what they're doing. Poppy can go both jungle and top for them. LPL plays a lot of top lane Poppy. No region has really spammed jungle Poppy too much. It's kind of the weaker of the roles for her, but it's still a good pick. So Unicorns don't 100% know where it's going. They should expect it to be Poppy top lane and Graves jungle most likely.
Unless Pulse's wish comes true and it's AP Alistar top.
It's not AP Alistar.
I'm just saying it as a joke, just to humor him. But no, so we will expect that Poppy top. For UOL, Fox has to decide what he's going to run in that middle lane into Ahri.
Give me a LeBlanc, man.
Scaling, if you go Orianna, a lot of team fight power, but against Corki, Ahri, Graves, Poppy.
Okay.
So slow to start.
Yeah, Unicorns might want wave clear here because they're against Corki and Graves. And as we start talking about it, they pick Zed.
So you've got some wave clear, you've got split push. That means Chachi Ryze top.
Yeah. This is a very lane-focused comp from Unicorns. With Kalista, Thresh, the strongest 2v2 probably in the game, or one of the strongest at least being played at the moment. Zed as well early on.
It's his third time playing that champion.
Yeah.
He is.
I mean, he had some good games on it in the start. I think he had some misplays on it, but overall the result was good for the Unicorns of Love because they enabled him as a split pusher really effectively. And we do get the Poppy top as we talked about, and Graves in the jungle. So Unicorns are really focused on this laning phase here, and you have find early game jungler to gank, at least. You will lose the duel against the Graves in terms of damage, but your ganking is strong with the Rek'Sai. You have Zed, who can obviously all in at level 6. Kalista, Thresh can always kill people from level 2, basically. So, very, very strong lanes. If we look at mid and bot lane, Ryze will need some assistance, though. You can't leave him alone, because Poppy will just smack him into a wall, follow in by Graves, and then when Ryze is stuck in the wall, end of the line burst will just one-shot him. So, like, that 2v2 for Fnatic on the top side of the map will be super scary.
All about the walls for both Poppy and Graves. This was the premier matchup of the spring split last year. Let's see if UOL can bounce back from the defeat yesterday. Hashtag FNC win. If you think Fnatic can secure themselves another win on the week, or hashtag UOL win, I think the Unicorns will be picking this one up. We are jumping into game, and unfortunately there is a very brief pause.
Ah,
so
good, more talking.
we'll get that resolved. But interesting team composition. Yesterday, let's be honest, most of the guys behind the camera did not like the UOL team comp. What do you think today? Are you a little bit more happy?
I always like Kalista Thresh together. I think that's super strong. I think it was a bit risky with the Zed pick in the mid lane, taking that skill matchup against Febiven, therefore sacrificing quite a lot of your wave clear, because when you play Zed, you obviously want to put him in a side lane after laning phase so you can split push.
Yeah.
But that leaves Kalista in your mid lane. And Kalista wave clear is really weak. Even with Hurricane, if people are pushing up on you, it's very difficult for you to properly wave clear. So when you are against Corki, Graves, Ahri, like that's enough ranged champions to group mid and punish that Kalista. Also,
The threat of dives from Noxiak's Alistar.
yeah, exactly. Like you have the Alistar coming in. Poppy dives as well are super, super strong. Because again, you are stuck near walls and towers when you're standing there, and people can dive you in every single lane, honestly. So I think it's a very risky composition Unicorns are running. Also because the Ryze doesn't really fit the rest. You got late game scaling who needs some assistance, and then you got very focused on early game elsewhere, where normally you would want to put your jungler to help and snowball those lanes.
Let's see if Diamond can do it, because last week Diamond's early game impact was really, really impressive.
It was.
There's going to be some pressure once again to get one of these lanes ahead, because, for sure, you've mentioned it to pick some bands. Laning phase could be very, very crucial here for UOL.
Yeah, and I think Fnatic should just lane swap in this game here. You don't really want to deal with Kalista Thresh. Poppy into Ryze can be tricky in the early game. Ryze does really well into melee champions. So you just lane swap it, deny the Ryze. Also, it opens up the map very quickly by taking down the tier 1 towers, and Ryze, who's so slow, walking, who has no gap closers or anything, against Ahri, Graves, Poppy, like so many things that can just catch him out, and if he gets knocked into one wall, he gets bursted down so quickly up top. So I really think lane swap is going to be the key. And you can see Unicorns, what they're doing here is, instead of walking in and like warding at level 1, they rush to the tower with Steelback and Hylissang, and they hide behind towers, so Fnatic hasn't seen them. And normally you want to put down these wards from Fnatic, so you spot when Unicorns are walking from base to whatever lane they're picking with their dual lane. They don't see this now, because Hylissang and Steelback rushed there and hid behind the tower. So Unicorns are basically saying, you want to lane swap? We want to counter lane swap, so we're hiding up here. And Fnatic, they're now walking top with Alistar and Corki, so Unicorns of Love, it pays off, hiding on the turret. And Fnatic ends up in a 2v2, not what they were looking for.
No, not at all. Let's see if Steelback and Hylissang have what it takes to challenge Rekkles and Noxiak. Thunderlords all the way around. 3 on each side, as well as that battle for Steelback. So Rekkles and Noxiak are going to realize they're now...
They didn't even do a camp on the side of
behind
Fnatic.
the levels as well.
Yeah, because again, they thought it was going to be a lane swap, and they wanted to join in a little bit late in case a ward would spot them, so Unicorns couldn't react in time. They didn't get a camp. Hylissang can all in level 2. He has Ignite as well, so like it's a very strong level 2 for Unicorns of Love.
So good start then by Unicorns of Love. Early game decision making, they approached the laning phase with a clear plan, and they've got themselves the potential to grow an advantage. And you can already see how far back Rekkles and Noxiak are playing.
Yeah, Hylissang just needs to stay in this bush all the way up in the front, just to have the threat of him landing a hook into an all-in. Diamond as well is nearby. So we need to see how Diamond decides to play the early game, because we talked about how Kalista, Thresh, super good 2v2, mid lane as well. If you can snowball that one, go for it. But also Ryze is a guy who needs assistance, so I just need to see where Diamond wants to go. If he's snowballing lanes or if he's helping.
Well, let's find out. Sentence connects, but Hylissang's just zoning away Rekkles and Noxiak. Nothing really to speak of. But looking at Steelback, something not mentioned just yet is how if Gamsu's in the right place, his W, that steadfast presence, is just going to completely nullify the power of Kalista's team fight mobility.
As long as he can get to him in the back line. Yes. Let's see Hylissang here. He's out of mana now. They went for another all-in because Steelback hit level 3 earlier. So big wave coming in for Fnatic. They're going to look to clear that out. Should have some relic stacks as well to get the farm. And I like this because Spirit has been very active in the enemy jungle in all the games we've seen from Fnatic. It's something obviously he's done back in LPL as well. Very often. So he moves in and places a ward on the Wolf camp. So now he sees Diamond on the bottom side. He knows exactly where he is. He can communicate to his team. We've seen the jungler. He's not on top side. And Fnatic don't have to fear anything at the moment. They're going to spot him again now. So it's just a lot of information. And these good junglers can very easily communicate, okay, is he going to back now? He's done this amount of camps, so he's probably sitting on this amount of farm. Yes, good chance he's backing. Or is he moving to the opposite side to farm more? They keep seeing where he's going, and now he's on the Grump. And again, they know it. Spirit is spot as well, though.
Yeah, stood on top of the ward, so Diamond will be able to respond if needed. No real threat of a stun here from Gamsu on that Poppy. Chachi's going to get caught out with the red, but
the tower
puts a root down, and no end of the line bounce back from that water balloon. So Chachi walks away. He was low on mana anyway. He still has teleport available. Gamsu TP'd in at level 1 or 2, so he is on cooldown. And this will give Chachi a little bit of advantage in this lane. Very early tier to start that stacking.
Yeah, very standard for him. Yeah. Didn't have to use the flash. He knew Diamond was nearby. Obviously had spotted Spirit on the ward. Top lane, a little bit sad for Rekkles. Obviously it's pushing away from him at the moment, so it's very difficult for him to farm. He has to again respect Hylissang and the all-in. Needs to respect the fact that Diamond has been seen for the last, you can say, 30 seconds after he recalled from the bot side, so he could be up here now. And he is in the river. There's no ward from Fnatic to spot him. One hook from Hylissang, and that's at least a flash.
So Hylissang's going to start charging up. Will connect on to Noxiak. Flash is available. Diamond
and then Fnatic moves back.
Fnatic were able to peel backwards. There's a ping onto Spirit's location from Diamond. Tremor Sense will spot him out.
This is a very interesting thing with Rek'Sai. He's a champion who had received quite a lot of nerfs. And there are other champions in the jungle who were stronger early game than Rek'Sai. But then with the whole vision change we saw in the off-season, the Tremor Sense just becomes so much more powerful for Rek'Sai to see, okay, where's the enemy jungle, what's happening, because again, you can't spam the same amount of wards. And you can use that information really well.
Especially a jungler like Diamond who's got so much experience on the stage. We did catch a quick glimpse there of Fox. He's just hit 6. Febiven at the makings of a roam. I'm very interested to see how this skill matchup plays out. Both mid laners running Ignite, both looking to impact the side lanes. And Febiven is just consistently showing up on the stage. He played LeBlanc earlier in the split and truthfully had game-changing plays. Gamsu.
He just wants to push it into tower and then go back to base. He's tired of Vizicsacsi.
Yeah. Don't want none of your nonsense. It's on cooldown a little over 2 minutes. So
we've seen though the laning phase why the Unicorns of Love put everything into getting that 2v2 on top side, hiding under the tower from the start, sacrificing a few level 1 wards for it. And it really paid off because Ryze has been winning the bot lane. Range champion into a melee champion. Poppy doesn't really have anything she can do there. Kalista, Thresh, so strong in 2v2. So Unicorns are getting what they want from the early game. Free farm basically in every single lane. Poppy as well. I mean, Poppy wants to scale now up. She wants to get super tanky, get that extra 12% and 24%. Like, she does so well with tanky items. But she needs to get them first. She needs to get a little bit towards the late game.
Somewhat expected maybe from UOL.
Oh, this is the expected start with the lane setup, yes.
And again, because of how cheeky UOL were at the start. Get past those wards, get up to the tower, like, call Fnatic's bluff. And get yourselves into a comfortable position. You know, Fox, he's been farming up for a while, got himself that Hex Drinker, sitting on about 1,000 gold to the double Gorons, cloth armor. Fans, still voting in favor of Fnatic, and oh, look at that. Deathmark goes down, that will pop. But Spirit has now joined the fight. Collateral damage is available, will shoot out, but no bounce back from end of the line. Febiven actually Spirit rushed forward. Down in the bottom lane, I can see Gamsu. Now he's the one that's in a little bit of trouble. Room Prison into Overload into Room Prison. Chachi is trying to combo him down. There's no Keeper's Verdict, so he's not going to be able to get the knock away. Gamsu drops to 250 HP, and now Spirit is in range. There is no collateral damage. He used it mid, and Spirit realizes he can't go toe-to-toe without any additional MR or HP.
A lot of trading in the lanes here. Febiven, he knew exactly where Zed would spawn after the ult. He just right behind him and he just fires the charm, connects it, forcing the Zed to back away. No reason to use any summoners. Smart play by him, but trouble in the bottom lane for sure for Gamsu. Fnatic honestly had time to recall and change the lanes up if they wanted to, but because the lanes have been pushed down, they were afraid of losing too many minions and too much damage on the towers, honestly, and that's why they said, okay, let's just keep standard laning for now, even though we're going to get further and further behind, and that's a big issue.
It's time to tower dive. Noxiak does not have access to his unbreakable will. 4 members of the Unicorns of Love are going under the tower. Rekkles flashed away. Now he's trying to keep in safety. Actually valked to stay alive, but UOL grabbed themselves their first kill.
Again, this is what happens when you're just losing multiple lanes at once. Gamsu's going in on Chachi, though.
Gamsu's gonna knock Chachi against the wall. Keeper's Verdict just to hold him in place. Spirit's moving forward. Collateral damage and end of the line. Secure a kill. It's 1 for 1.
All right, it's a good response here from Fnatic, but they're losing top tower. And again, you've just been consistently pushed down to your tower. It's just a matter of time before the enemy team shows up with 2 or 3 extra guys, and then they dive you and kill you. Poor Noxiak wasn't level 6, and Rekkles just flashed away instantly and left him there.
We're getting to 10 minutes on the clock, and UOL have got a 2,500 gold lead. Look at the gargantuan CS difference between Chachi and Gamsu. And actually, Chachi is the second best player for CSD at 10 because of how the games have played out. He's traditionally up 13, and Gamsu is the worst at traditionally down 15 versus his opponents.
Yeah, Gamsu definitely the last 2 games struggled in the early game. Also with some of the way the Fnatic were playing out lane swaps, setting in behind, while Vizicsacsi and Diamond together have had great synergy. And often we saw Diamond in week 1 get first blood to Vizicsacsi, therefore allow him to get some extra farm and win his lane pretty easily. And now it's another one, obviously. He gets a great matchup in the 1v1. Fnatic, let's see how they put the lanes, because Gamsu needs to leave that bottom side now that Hylissang and Steelback are here. And obviously for Unicorns of Love, we've seen the strategy. Leave Ryze to farm alone. Yeah. Just let him farm, put up a ward, he can farm, do nothing else. He has a good matchup. And then we play around Steelback and Hylissang with Kalista Thresh. They're gonna do the same now. Get this bot lane tower, super easy. If anyone shows up, you just go kill them again with a dive. And Fnatic have to try and mirror and get the top tower, because otherwise they just keep giving up towers and gaining nothing.
Well, this is very scary for Fnatic. That Chachi's got all this time to just build that power, accelerating himself into this mid game. More of Malmortius already completed for Fox as well.
He has no flash now, though. I like this play from Fnatic. Get the Rift Herald, then go grab the wave top so you can push down this tower faster, because you're behind in tempo right now. Steelback is already on the bot lane tower hitting it, so you need to try and speed it up somehow. Get the Rift Herald and then go gank this Ryze. If he's stuck up at the tower, you just kill him instantly, force him away. And if Unicorns stay on the bot side, you have a big enough weight that you might potentially be able to push into tier 2 tower and take that one as well. Maybe. Especially now that Diamond is going to take Dragon, and Unicorns are very slow taking the bot lane tower. Febiven is joining. Fnatic is aiming for 2 towers top.
Charm has to hit, yeah. Febiven actually holds it, uses the Spirit Rush to get away. Gigantic minion wave, and the cannon minions survive.
And now Spirit is coming with the Rift Herald. Unicorns of Love have no safe wave play. We talked about this in their cup. This is such a good move from Fnatic with the Rift Herald. Build up a big wave, have 4 members join in. Look at the Graves here right next to the tower, the extra damage he's dealing. And you buff up every single minion with 40% attack speed against no proper wave clear from Unicorns. Beautiful play from Fnatic.
Yeah, Vizicsacsi had just used Desperate Power earlier in the jungle. Diamond was unable to respond with his Void Rush, and Fnatic get themselves 2 towers in the top lane. They're gonna move down towards the middle. The package is available for Rekkles, so next time he backs, he can respond very, very quickly. Fnatic still got the Rift Herald buff.
Yeah, just keep using it. Again, Zed is the only one here who can clear. He even used his Shadow to deal damage to Spirit instead of clearing out the wave. Mistake in my opinion. gave some extra damage for Unicorns of Love, or sorry, from Fnatic onto the tower. Very, very good push. All starting with the Rift Herald being used, and Unicorns of Love being very slow at taking bot tower because they also wanted Dragon. So they wanted a bit of everything, and Fnatic trying to even out the gold.
Diamond bringing a little bit of the old Gambit play around Dragon forever flavor. Manages to get the first respect flash from Febiven. Probably not needed, but nevertheless gets himself out. And Unicorns, they still maintain a gold lead, but very clever map play from Fnatic. Allowed themselves to take those top towers, get some wards in the jungle, not the greatest amount. And now we see how they play, because yesterday against H2K, Fnatic had decisive calls in the mid game that punished mistakes from H2K in terms of positioning. UOL theoretically could make similar mistakes. We've seen it from them already this split.
Febiven has ulti now, so he can do something, but obviously Flash is down. Unicorns were trying to fan out. Split in 1-3-1, but obviously you can't do anything bot lane as a Z versus 3 guys, so they're trying to trade for mid tower. The thing is, pushing mid tower is very difficult, and there is wave clear from Febiven. So right now, again, Fnatic is making a very good decision and saying, like, where can we push at the moment? Can we still defend mid? And Unicorns didn't commit and say, okay, we go all 5 mid then. And we just start rushing down mid tower. Send them back to defend. Give a tower over to Fnatic again. And not really gaining anything, because now Fnatic can move into mid lane and defend their tower as well.
And just like that, Fnatic even it out. We're down 3,000 gold.
That is good shot calling.
Very.
The last 2 minutes for Fnatic. Beautiful play.
Safe and secure.
Quick at flank.
Hylissang is still trying to throw out those death sentences. Hylissang, rather, Diamond and Chachi, they were coming in from behind. Fnatic may have realized the potential risk, and they backed away safely enough. There was lots of people missing from the map.
Yeah, but I really feel like also the last 2 minutes have kind of highlighted some of the issues for Unicorns of Love with their comeback and how difficult it was for them to react and catch that big wave in time, pushing in fast enough, because even the time it takes you to clear a wave in the early game decides how fast you can get to the tier 1 tower and start pushing it. Kalista is very slow there at pushing in as well. So everything just took more time for Unicorn to do, and now you're relying on your 1-3-1 with Ryze. That's going to keep happening, by the way. Gamsu sitting there against him, not being able to do anything other than just pick up some farm at tower, so that's good for Unicorns. The Zed as well on the bottom side, nobody should be able to deal with him right now. Well, actually, no, Febiven can. He has Outlast, so Febiven will be able to hold him.
Hold him.
Probably even kill him. No, he might even be able to kill him.
Good charm, maybe, is what we're looking for. So Febiven, a lot of pressure on him then to help out Fnatic. Although, Rekkles has got his Trinity Force, even though he's down in CS. Sork's Shoe's completed as well, so fully activated as far as the mid-game is concerned. This is only the blade that will keep the Steelback. Steelback still charging up, still powering up. And Fnatic have played very clever around the map.
Yeah.
So some more vision, some more clever moves. It will, in theory, open them up to inner turrets or maybe a Baron against no wave clear from UOL.
For now, at least, he gave you the goal lead. And that's all you were looking for. But getting down so many towers because you were really falling behind in lanes. Fnatic had such a hard time in standard lanes. They knew it, we knew it, it was going to happen. There's nothing Spirit could really do because Graves is not necessarily the best ganking jungler in the world. But he's very strong now at this stage in the game here.
Noxiak is rooted in place by that Rune Prison. We can see Fnatic, they managed to lose the laning phase gracefully. It's a phrase that I heard Krepo saying yesterday, and they've managed to bounce back. They are still in the gold lead by 1,000, and they need to buy time to get Gamsu to be relevant.
And this move here from Unicorns of Love is something they've done before. They like to play 4-1, with one lane being pushed just by minions. So Chachi had set up the top wave, pushing it slow down. Then you have 4 guys moving into mid lane, putting pressure, and you have the Zed normally sitting bot, but they're just gonna all in for tower now. They're trying at least. Noxiak going in.
He's found Chachi. Chachi's underneath the turret. Death Sentence connects onto Febiven, and then Fate's Call will pull Hylissang backwards. Gamsu sitting in the back line. The Keeper's Verdict has already been swung. The kill is picked up for Febiven onto Hylissang, and Fnatic are trying to back away. Steelback is still on full HP, and Chachi's got mana to play with. UOL, they're continuing the siege.
Really liked the fighty honesty for both teams, because even though Chachi got caught out, Hylissang was very quick with the Lantern, saves him, He can then still deal some damage, and Unicorns ends up backing away, only losing one member. Tower is still alive though. Unicorns are getting a little bit greedy for the objectives. But right here, actually, you wanted to have both mid lane and bot lane pushed by a player. So Zed in the bottom lane, 4 other guys in mid lane. Decided to all in for it, and Fnatic could respond fairly easily. Flash engage from Noxiak, TP in from Gamsu, and the fight is on.
And the fight is won, so Fnatic will get their first taste of Dragon Meat. Contest again, looking for UOL to get into position, so give them a small buff as the game continues to play out. The next target for Fnatic has to be Vision, has to be about trying to avoid it. So here's that replay once again.
Let's see, you can see Fnatic is ready for this play. Febiven is sitting at the Raptor camp, Spirit is flanking as well from the river, so they expected this play to happen. And they finally get a team fight. You get away from some of these losing lanes, you get in 5-on-5, only get a support kill. But you defend your tower, you take a dragon from it, so you gain a whole lot as Fnatic. Because you don't want to deal with Zed too much. I really want to see a one-on-one between him and Febiven, because the Moor is so good against AP champions with that shield to avoid you getting all in. But because of Outlast, I don't think he can kill Febiven, so you just have like this weird fight where it's kind of yelling at each other and nobody's really doing anything. We need a charger in here.
Alright, we'll see if we can get that 1v1. I imagine the Chucky continues to be a threat in the side lane. Fnatic will have to send some sort of answer. But luckily for Fnatic, they've got the wave play of Graves, Ahri, and in case of emergency, fire collateral damage. That can really help clear out. That top wave looks to be
slowly pushing for Fnatic. So Chucky has to go up, clear it out. He has teleport as well. Unicorns can really play the map now and have global advantage. They have to be able to use it. Because again, if you go into another 5-on-5 team fight, it is where Fnatic's comp is going to shine. Very strong team fighters all across the board from Fnatic, and where Unicorns will love like a Zed. It's very difficult for him in fights to find the right target. Chachi at the moment is super strong, but he's fairly squishy. And he's obviously sitting in the front line together with Diamond. And none of them can really tank the amount of damage Fnatic can deal here. So much burst damage from them. But they're looking again for this mid tower.
Group themselves up, clear out that pink ward. Rekkles has got access to the package. I think it'll time very soon though, so
Gamsu
in terms of that almost long-range engage, not going to be available. Chachi is with the group, leading the way. Maybe just 4 stacks. Also, distortion boots picked up for Chachi, so there's teleport flashes. Definitely going to be the name of the day.
But Fnatic shouldn't be allowed right now to push top lane and have Gamsu sit bottom lane and just catch some farm for himself. He has no TP. Febiven went top about teleport. Chachi should have been sitting in that lane already, saying like, no, this is my lane. I have the global. You have to run into mid lane and defend that mid lane, and I get to push out my waves. We can even set up a dive because Gamsu is sitting bot lane with no teleport. But this is where Unicorns now are too passive. Yeah. When they have the chance to pull the trigger and say, we need to make an aggressive play, they don't. And this is buying more time for Fnatic to keep farming out waves. Look at Gamsu now, pushed all the way out, and TP is ready.
Well, very important to note, Gamsu was down
sneaking Baron.
52 CS. It was the great at 20
But
minutes.
Nothing.
But look, it's Fnatic. No, UOL pulling a Fnatic.
Apparently that was the plan all along. Ah, the spooky ghost see them.
It will reveal, but it might not be.
Oh.
Teleport has been channeled by Gamsu. He's coming into the river. Hylissang has put a defensive box down. But look at the Fate's Call. Steelback pulls him away. What was the opportunity cost? More time for Fnatic.
More time.
The teleport and the flash.
Yeah, get another summoner, but last time it didn't do anything that Fnatic had no teleport. Let's see what happens here.
See the rest of Fnatic.
Ah, they're killing the ward.
The lane.
Yeah.
There's minions pushing up the Fisher. UOL out of position to defend. They don't have reliable, safe wave clear, so Fnatic will get a lot of damage onto this turret. It's still powering up. We're only 22
Got
minutes
teleport.
Diamond's coming in from the side. Not going to be able to find a really useful knockup, and Rekkles has taken him out of the fight already. Chachi's found Spirit, and there's this fight. Febiven and Chachi, but Gamsu's jumped in as well. Keeper's verdict will knock him up into the air, and Rekkles will find himself a double kill. Steelback wants to get a kill, but Febiven goes golden. He survives the fight, flashes away to safety before Fox shuts him down. Steelback has got 1,000,000 targets, arrows in Rekkles, and he rends him for the triple.
That was such a good team fight for the Unicorns of Love, especially Steelback played it so well, and he was aggressive against his old team here. diving into the back line. He picks up the kills. Chachi with the flank as well. Fnatic thought they could push on that mid tower. And the Unicorns get a very, very good team fight. Great spike for the Kalista, both Blither King and Hurricane. And Steelback has been playing some very good League of Legends the last 2 weeks.
Incredible positioning, closing that fight out entirely. And Chachi goes in 1v3 effectively. So much damage and so much threat. And the point I was mentioning, at 20 minutes he had plus 52 CS. Over Gamsu, the highest of any top laner matchup this year in Europe.
This might be what Unicorns needed, because they weren't really able to use the map. I like the Baron attempt. There was no wards for Fnatic, and it was just a spooky ghost checking what was happening. Otherwise, that Baron had died. Just give them 5 more seconds, that Baron was down. But instead, they get a big team fight. See around Dragon. It's not really a big deal for any of the teams. And Summoners used every flash is down for Unicorns. And there are 3 flashes on the side of Fnatic for the next fight.
But not on the primary front line for Fnatic. So Noxiak going to be relying on Headbutt Pulverize to set something up. For UOL, look at this, Baron focus. They've got a good set of vision. Relatively deep inside Fnatic's jungle, waiting for a face. Noxiak is the man to do it. He gets flayed forward, and look at that damage already. Unbreakable will comes out. That will time out short. You've got Rekkles. Will get damage down. The collateral splashes across the Unicorns of Love. And they're going to back away. So another Baron attempt, dare I say thwarted by UOL themselves. Maybe trying to look for the kill.
Well, Unicorns had no teleport this time, so they didn't feel like they wanted to split push. And then instead, if you are feeling confident, you can find your AD carry is very strong at the moment. You start playing around stuff like Baron. You set up a ping or 2, and you basically say to the other team, either you come face check here, and we take this fight, or you just give us a free Baron. So obviously Fnatic had to go in, check it, but it's where Alistar shines. Yeah. You know, he's walking in, pop his ult, he stays alive. And in the end, they only get a Dragon for Fnatic. But it does mean Unicorns can go back and do it again, because Fnatic spent the time going to Dragon, then recalling. Unicorns were already back out, and Noxiak has no ulti now. He has a headbutt though.
Yeah, really gonna do a whole lot. Look at this, UOL, they're onto the Baron. The rest of Fnatic are trying to respond. But Kalista and Steelback, they've got a lot of stacks. Fox is taken out already. Death Sentence will find Gamsu. Baron secured by Steelback's range. And Gamsu, he's got himself a double. Steelback will pierce his way over the wall and try to escape. Charm will find Diamondprox. Steadfast presence from Gamsu will not interrupt the Fate's call, and the rest of UOL make it up. They lose Chachi and Fox, the primary split pushers. At the very least, 3 members with Baron buff for 2 kills a tower. This is a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, Unicorns felt like again they could just rush to the Baron because Fnatic had recalled after Dragon. But with 1 member chasing after Noxiak, they lacked a little bit of damage to rush it down, and then there was no ulti from the Zed either for the potential fight. So honestly, just a little bit too aggressive play while doing the Baron ends up costing them a lot now. Fnatic is still not ahead in gold, but it's very even. Unicorns remain Baron down 3 members, I believe. 2 or 3? 3 it was.
3 should be. Diamond Steelback Hylissang.
Yeah, Hylissang is here with 1. And they can start pushing down mid tower with it.
Let's see how they use the siege, because the last few times UOL had to siege, they kind of dropped the ball. Got themselves flanked by Fnatic initially.
Well, you can't really see this comp though, that's the issue.
Or split push with Baron, but then again, Fox and Chachi, they died, so they won't have Baron, but the 1-3-1 could be enabled.
Sure, I mean, again, it's so many of the things we talked about all the way back in Champ Select. How Unicorns wanted to play out this composition, because again, if you keep playing 1-3-1, your AD carry is not really a wave clear AD carry. So it would be too easy for Fnatic to pressure mid tower then. And because Febiven rushed Hourglass, he could sit toe-to-toe with the Zed. And while Gamsu was losing top to Ryze, Ryze is not really a threat to your towers in the early game.
Yeah.
So Unicorns just didn't really have a lane where they were winning easily, other than just the Ryze pushing down Poppy over and over and getting a ton of free farm, which of course is fantastic for the big fights, and that's where they want to use Chachi now.
There's the Baron empowered minions, 2 siege cannons sitting on the back line. A stun against the wall onto Diamond. Spirit's coming to try kill him. Keeper's verdict knocks him up into the air. Diamond is held in place before Gamsu tries to dodge away with a heroic charge. Hylissang wants to line up a death sentence from over the wall, but no target really presents himself, and Febiven was just trying to deal with the wave up top. UOL will have a numbers advantage, especially with Diamond coming back in with the ult.
And this is what we wanted to see earlier. Let Chachi split push against the Poppy because he can push in the wave. Let's see what happens mid though.
So the Deathmark comes down. Febiven is in trouble. We'll use another Spirit Rush and Flash to get away. Will at least mean no Flash, no ulti for the ensuing fight. Spirit will get taken out. Steelback is unstoppable. 5-0 and 2. Noxiak pushes Chachi towards the tower, but does not get the pulverize. Gamsu is able to stun Steelback, but Steelback's got a QSS. He removes it. Another triple kill for Steelback. UOL have the opportunity to break open Fnatic's base.
It's another fight, but again, the setup for Unicorns. Finally, they use Vizicsacsi, and the fact that he's so far ahead in this one-on-one, he can keep pushing down the lane. Diamond joins him with the Baron buff, and then you start pushing in. You start playing around him. Steelback has been massive in the fights, but it's been Chachi who's been doing really well in the one-on-one, and now Unicorns used it. He had teleport, he had everything he needed. Noxiak?
Oh, I'm not sure you want to be here. Does have his ultimate at the very least. May need to use it in a few moments. Unbreakable Will has been thrown down. Noxiak's going to back away. The Lantern from Hylissang pulls Chachi out to safety. 2 inhibitors, a whole bunch of kills. Gold, UOL in absolute control. Officio,
Good setup.
Kalista is currently 8-0 in the spring split. Steelback on form to make it 9-0.
She is everything that EU teams thought Lucian was in week 1. Spirit gets caught, beautiful hook from Hylissang. Getting him in the dash, he goes down super quick. And now, because Febiven had already used his ulti and Hourglass before, he's actually just walking in doing absolutely nothing. Obviously, Fnatic didn't want to fight here. It was a great hook from Hylissang. But then everyone just gets caught out. Steelback can clean up the fight. And just great to see how they use Chachi in this case. We wanted to see it earlier. We got some other things like Sneaky Barons coming in. Now they pulled it off. And they're still very strong because Chachi is such a monster on Ryze in this fight. So he gets so much attention. He might not get the kills, but Fnatic has to respect his damage. And that's what buys time for Steelback to sit in the back line and just hammer away, get the rents, get the stacks down, and then apply the rent.
As if Fnatic didn't have enough problems to deal with. Banner of command for Hylissang. Supers in 2 lanes. Chachi QSS as well. So even if he gets caught out by a charm or a stun against the wall, he's just going to remove that and get away. There's a lot of tools for UOL to use. Let's see, Dave. As long as I don't get too impatient here. Wave clear from Fnatic is still solid in this top lane. You can see 2 super minions and a banner of command empowered ranged minions. Spirit's the man dealing with it, while the rest of Fnatic's trying to deal with middle and top.
Yeah, really very few options left for Fnatic. Try and land a charm where you can't one-shot someone at the start of the fight, but it's very, very tricky. You got the tanky members from Unicorns. Steelback is sitting very far back. QSS for Chachi. I mean, there's no one you can really catch by surprise here for Fnatic. And you have super minions spawning in. Unicorns technically can wait for another Baron if they want to, and then force a fight at the Baron if they don't want to risk diving onto the Nexus turrets. But you got so many minions just piling down. Just keep the pressure up.
It seems to be the case for now, Officio. UOL split their numbers. Fox is just going to walk the top lane minions into the tower. Look at that damage from Thunderlords. Rekkles is already down. Gamsu does stun Fox against the wall though, so they trade AD carry from mid laner, but that was one of the big poke and wave clear bots for Fnatic. Gamsu also used his ultimate, so that's a big disengage tool not available. Death Sentence does not find a member of Fnatic, and UOL realize this might be too risky and they back away.
Yeah, just wanted to see if they could land a hook and then get another kill, maybe finish. Instead, go back. You need... No, you have 3 pinks already, honestly. You can go place them at Baron. Prepare for it, you get your Z back up. 20 seconds, and then that's where Fnatic has to take the final battle. But they're gonna have to walk in blind, most likely. And it should be all in favor of Unicorns at this point.
Let's see how effectively they can close this game out. Dragon number 2. His inhibs will be up shortly, but the Baron is going going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
But so much of this game just goes all the way back to level 1, where Fnatic is building this composition and saying, as long as we get a lane swap, we're not going to fall too far behind them. But because Unicorns got those standard lanes with the smart level 1, Fnatic fell super far behind. And then, even though Unicorns didn't really split push away the victory, it was hard for Fnatic, even with some good plays, to really pull ahead of Unicorns a lot because they fell so far behind. And then we saw these first few team fights where Steelback was super farmed, had already played Rune King and Hurricane for the first big team fight, and then he picks up like 3-4 kills. And then it was just a matter of time before Unicorns were like, okay, who's our winning lane at the moment? It's Vizicsacsi. He has the TP, play around him. And then they set up another play in the bottom lane, and it works for them. So now we get the Baron set up. They're baiting it for now, saying, haha, we're on the Baron, come get us.
Yeah, they need to wait for Gamsu to TP and Noxiak's in the front line. Look at that, Unbreakable Will's already been used in UOL. They split up. Say thank you very much, you've used one of your primary frontline tools.
Fnatic still needs to fight. They have to just go in and try and fight around this Baron pit. Hylissang is slowing them.
Let's see,
oh, he gets Spirit.
Connects onto Spirit. The knockup finds Rekkles, and Diamond's actually in trouble. Noxiak, despite having no ultimate, is still alive. Diamond will be dropped. Spirit and Rekkles still relatively healthy as Gamsu sits on the front line. With UOL losing Diamondprox, they may not have enough to continue fighting, and the Baron's been thwarted.
Really good fight here, though, by Fnatic, and it's the problem we often see from teams when they're about to finish the Baron and then a fight is happening at the same time. The communication can often be very split. Some say finish the Baron because you have Kalista, or people are calling for disengage and take the fight, and it just becomes very difficult for teams. And we saw Fnatic were able to start the fight, then move back a little bit, single out Diamond, take him down, and the fight was basically over. Buying a bit more time, inhibitors are alive. It's a good play by Fnatic.
Good defense. It looked like they were going to be knocked out within minutes of this game, and all of a sudden, we're 35 minutes in, no more supers to speak of. Fnatic with some legitimate chances in team fights, but it is so reliant on being played perfectly. Like, I just think to myself, if Gamsu gets a good ulti and knocks away Chachi,
what will
UOL do?
Almost
Steelback.
Yeah, I want to try and see Gamsu if he can actually knock someone from the backline away from Unicorns. Because Diamond is going in alone. Oh, Noxiak gets caught again.
Unbreakable Will's been used. Noxiak's rooted in place. There's no flash available.
That's a problem again for Fnatic. They can't really use him too much in fights now. But again, if Gamsu can knock away the damage dealers, or one of them, you can single out the tanks. Because the tank at the moment is just Diamond and Hylissang.
Confident play from Hylissang. He flashed for that hook, but it didn't actually find his man. So, no flash for Hylissang. Boxes available. Noxiak, 1/3 of the Unbreakable Will, or less than a minute until it's available again.
And you see Fnatic put so much focus on the mid lane, because again, that's what opens up for these Baron plays. But Unicorns are saying, you know what, we can't make it back to home base, we're gonna start it and force Fnatic to come down and fight us.
Gamsu's got his W down, steadfast.
Steelback!
He's found Steelback. Steelback's caught up, but Baron's been secured. There is the keeper's verdict and knocks Steelback into the air. Gamsu's almost soloed.
Still alive!
Steelback's starting to stay alive. He's hopped away. The lantern keeps him up. Hylissang knocks him up. Now Steelback gets the kill. Chachi will be the sacrificial lamb. It's 1-for-1, but UOL get Baron.
Oh, that could have gone so wrong, but great play by Steelback, and Fnatic had no follow-up damage. Gamsu had a good knock into the wall. Noxiak followed. There's not enough damage to take him down, and Fnatic clearly said, okay, Steelback is sitting just outside the Baron pit. There's a chance to try and get him down. Let's see it again. Look at Gamsu here with the flash. And then he knocks Steelback into the wall. Followed up by Noxiak, and only damage from Spirit is helping. So Unicorns get the Baron, and now it's just a very messy fight, where Steelback is obviously singled out by Poppy, so this is good for Fnatic, especially because he's holding 2 members, and that's why they can also get 1 kill in the back here against Chachi, and then just trade 1-for-1, but they still lose the Baron.
So UOL, they now start up their siege once again. Split the numbers, split the buff. There's 2 exposed inhibitors to take down. The top tower took a beating from the last few sieges. And Fnatic, they are still not giving up. Despite it being a new year, despite it being new players, Fnatic and UOL are putting on a very exciting game. for the first time in the spring split.
Yeah, you're also getting to the point where you're getting some tanky members. Remember Poppy, again, scaling so well with armor and magic resistance, getting 12% from W, 24% when she pops it. Like, that's a ton. Late game. Spirit, we talk about this Graves build all the time, Sterix Gauge, more and everything. Like, when people think they're killing you, double shield will proc, and you just become almost unkillable. You become a big tank, honestly, with these items proccing. So they're very, very strong in the current meta. And it's very hard. We've seen in every teamfight, honestly, Zed hasn't been able to really find any targets.
No.
It's been about Steelback cleaning up and then Chachi doing a lot of the work in the start.
And where's he going to go now? Mercurial Scimitar for Rekkles, QSS for Spirit, Hourglass for Febiven. Thing is, if the Deathmark can at least bait out one of those QSSs and the rest of UOL collapse on that target, in theory, it opens up an avenue, but we see it from Zeds all the time. 35, 40, 45 minutes in, the value declines from that ultimate.
And there's no flashes really on the side of Unicorns, so they can't make too many aggressive plays. Otherwise, what you can see is Zed goes in with Deathmark, forces a QSS, and then a Ryze can follow up with Snare, and you lock down a target like that who can't do anything, and you can try and burst them. Noxiak has Flash, Rekkles, Spirit, Febiven, almost everyone from Fnatic for this next potential fight.
So much pressure. Death Sentence does not find Noxiak or Rekkles. Fnatic, they're defending. We're about to hit 40 minutes. UOL are relying on the Banner of Command, Baron empowered cannon minion.
Hit the inhibitor, stupid cannon.
To put some damage. Gamsu is going to go forward, but look at that. He's been burst down to a third of his hit points. This will at least secure one inhibitor. Down bottom, Fox.
Really strange play, man.
They're going for the next one. Now Noxiak still looking for an engage. Steelback and Chachi, they're standing next to each other. Fnatic, they now have to depend, again, supers in the middle lane.
Really big issue for Fnatic there with Gamsu taking so much damage. Noxiak was sitting on the bottom side. There's no real threat or anything from Fnatic's side, and end up losing inhibitor. Let's see what happens still. Unicorns are poking.
Chachi's popped.
They will get it.
Not his passive active, gonna move forward. Inhibitor still survives. So low HP. UOL, they've not backed away yet. One or two hits should secure it, but they're gonna
that's why you get baited.
Play this safe.
Oh, this way you can get baited so badly because you want that last hit on the inhibitor and then suddenly flash engage from the enemy Alistar, and the fight is on.
Noxiak's looking for it. Steelback and Chachi, they're holding hands. If they continue to stick together, Noxiak may find the knockup he's looking for. The inhibitor is regenerating so slowly.
They're waiting for super minions in the mid lane. Someone has to go back and kill them then for Fnatic, but they got enough time to push Unicorns back again. Let's see, Chachi's flash is ready now.
Look at the supers in the middle, Defisha. They're up the steps. Fnatic are still holding. I'm watching Chachi. He's going forward. Has got the root onto Noxiak, but he takes a big chunk there from Rekkles. Rekkles is trying to wave clear. Death Sentence finds Noxiak. Unbreakable Will is up. Gamsu's going forward, trying to prevent the skips and the jumps, but the inhibitor still stands. It's up to 700 hit points. The thing is, there's no ultimate now for Noxiak.
They got Hylissang!
Fights Hylissang, but it's not really the man you want. Noxiak gets a two-man knockup. The rest of Fnatic's backline are peeling away. Fox is stunned against the wall. Deathmark will get thrown down, and it will get cleansed away from Rekkles. Steelback is jumping forward with the Hurricane. Gets some tags onto Rekkles. Gamsu, the only victim of the fight. Super minions run to the Nexus turrets, and Fnatic lose the inhibitor and lose Gamsu.
It's just another super close fight here, but again for Fnatic, they're struggling to engage. It's like Gamsu runs in first, Noxiak isn't there to flash after him, or he just had to use his ulti. And like they're really struggling to coordinate how to start the fight. And that really hurts them in these very, very close team fights.
So Fnatic have to do it again. 15 minutes ago, we saw Sheepy's face and he was grinning ear to ear. He looked like the Joker. Now, a lot more serious, a lot more stern. 42 minutes in, UOL. This was the extended fight that led to the end here.
Yeah, so again, the first engage failed. There's no ulti now for Noxiak, so they get Hylissang. It's only the support. Flash combo in from Noxiak. I actually rather he just flash Q in from him and then knock Chachi back towards his own team if possible. And try and take him down and force him to flash away. In the end, they trade 1-for-1, but an inhibitor went down, so base is open. Unicorns is once again in the situation where they can wait for another Baron. Try and make the same play they did before. Force Fnatic in blind. Take the Baron. Catch someone up with the hook or with, I don't know, Chachi flashing on them. We've been here before, Trevor.
We have.
Especially also between these two
And
teams.
Last time in this game, Gamsu was able to pull enough distraction and Steelback to allow Fnatic to stall the game out. Taylor on screen backstage watching his team.
Why so serious?
A lot to talk about because the game's not over yet officially. Fnatic have held already. They've held many times against many opponents. UOL more than once. Let's see if they can do it again. Looking for an opportunistic amount of CC. No flash Rekkles, no flash Noxiak. But Gamsu, he's got one. Flash heroic charge, there's a stun.
Yeah, but that's your engage. It is very, very difficult to pull up. We've seen it already. That synergy is not there yet for the new Fnatic lineup. It's all on Noxiak, and honestly, he's been caught out too many times. Had to use ulti early. He's not been playing well enough when you consider that Alistar was first picked. In this game at least. Baron is being started by Unicorns. Fnatic is pretty far away from this one. This Baron is gone.
They're very slow to react, and all of a sudden UOL can peel and fight if they want to. Gamsu would have to TP in if anything were to happen. Hylissang, he winds up, does not find anybody. The spooky ghost will reveal. Package available in the base. There's no supers yet, but UOL have got a gigantic minion wave to work with up top. And this could be the final nails in the coffin. Fnatic have to pull off a miracle defense.
First, clear out these minions here. Banner of command cannon in the back. Noxiak this time didn't use his ulti. Healed up, and Hylissang has really been baiting that out so many times, just catching him, then snare from Chachi to force that ulti. This time Noxiak saved it. He has flashed very soon. He has distortion boots. Distortion enchant on his boots.
He needs to find that engaged officio. Gamsu's left.
Tough for him.
Gamsu's left. He's down in the bottom lane. UOL have a numbers advantage. Diamond, he has now left his team as well, pushing into the middle. Middle inhibitor has respawned. That will now be the next target. Diamond currently using the Baron buff to help out. Tower's down 50% up top. Look at the mini-map. Look at the faces. The tower is down. Noxiak's been rooted. He hasn't used his ulti yet. Unbreakable will be needed. Spirit's on the back line. He's been hurt just a little. Hold the line goes out, and all of a sudden now UOL, they've got the top inhibitor exposed. They've secured the middle inhibitor, and UOL are backing away. They're playing this one safe, maintaining control.
So far, Fnatic losing the expected. I think we can say mid lane inhibitor was open. They lost the tower as well. Bot lane 1 should spawn fairly soon for Fnatic. But again, it's just constantly super minions coming down. And then you're never first for the Baron either, so you don't have any vision on it. And Unicorns need like 5 seconds and the Baron is gone. It's so difficult for you. Unless you see a great engage from Noxiak and Gamsu, then I don't think Fnatic can win a team fight. Because Steelback is sitting so far back. He's gonna get buffed up by his support. Chachi is late game on Ryze, so he's a monster. And Fnatic has to be able to get them.
2/3 of the Baron buff is already used. In fact, 3/4 now. UOL trying to get themselves out of the inhib. This bottom one will respawn within seconds. UOL just a touch early. They've got themselves set up in a very, very good position to just knock it back over once it comes up. Supers will push towards the middle lane. It's still going to take 3 seconds to a minute to get in there. And there's that inhibitor. So we're still dancing. We're still with Leonidas in the 300 if you're a Fnatic supporter. They are trying to defend the breach. They are trying to defend against UOL. Diamond has come back in with that Void Rush. Banner minion, Baron minions. Baron will time out in the not too distant future. UOL, they're setting up
another one. Noxiak has the ulti.
Noxiak has ulti. Unbreakable will is down. Gamsu's going to need to find a target for that Keeper's Verdict. The inhibitor's been knocked over and Fnatic do not do it.
Chachi was right next to him. I mean, that's the way you just flash Q onto Chachi and at least you trade flashes with him. Because again, that's your chance to engage. Now you have no ulti.
Death Sentence found Gamsu. He has his flash. Noxiak has a flash as well, but there's no ultimate available.
Hit nothing.
Throws out the Keeper's Verdict. Swing and a miss. They managed to get a kill in Hylissang, but it does not matter. They've traded support for support. Steelback is still alive with a gigantic shield. All 3 inhibitors are down, and Fnatic, they have to somehow defend, but it is not looking likely.
Getting punished once again. And they only get to trade support for support, and Unicorns, they don't care. You're fine sacrificing Hylissang at this point, getting all inhibitors down. Man, as a coach, this must be one of the hardest games to watch, because you're sitting there and like you feel like you're winning this game, but you also feel like one mistake could cost you everything. So let's see it again. So remember now, Noxiak has no ulti because he was used before, so he gets that flash Q in on multiple members, but he dies instantly. And then fight goes even. But that's also because Unicorns are saying, we don't want to hit Fnatic, we want to hit this inhibitor. Take it down, and then just back away. There's technically not a real team fight in that sense, because Unicorns had no reason really to take down Fnatic members.
50 minutes is fast approaching. I think we're going to set a new record for the longest game here in the Spring Split 2016. And arguably the most inhibitors killed before a Nexus is killed. Look at that goal difference. Now this is a testament to both Fnatic defending and UOL being unable to knock that Nexus turret over.
Yeah, we have around that 15-minute mark where we saw that great play from Fnatic with Rift Herald into 2 top towers, into a bot tower, and then a mid tower as well. Like, they pulled ahead in the game, but then we had the big team fight where Steelback came up massive. Because he had been farming so well in this Kalista from that standard lane. And now here we are. Inhibitors down, another hook. Gamsu?
I can count on one hand how many games I've seen the team that has lost 3 inhibitors come back to win. UOL have got an army of super minions, and they want the Winions to help them out. Keeper's Verdict is available for Gamsu. He's looking for a target. Hylissang has found Febiven, but the death sentence did not. A bootback will find Diamond, but Gamsu's are first to fall. Febiven is backing away. Rekkles still healthy. Hylissang has managed to stay alive despite being lobbed into the team by Steelback. The super minions are being rattled down by Fnatic. It's a 5-on-4 as the minions continue to stream in.
Oh no!
Oh God, Febiven! Febiven's in trouble, and he's down! Steelback continues to destroy Fnatic, and the Unicorns of Love in 50 minutes have taken down the Nexus turrets, have taken down the Nexus, and they have proven that the magic is still real!
UOL!
Confirming that this was officially the longest game of 2016 for Spring Split Europe. The Spring Split 1 and 2 from 2015. What a game.
Yeah, we saw how difficult it was for Unicorns to get that last team fight that could win the game for them. Just kept playing around the base of Fnatic over and over, and we kept being in this situation where Fnatic failed engage after engage after engage. Last one, they got Vizicsacsi, but he was able to then flash away, and honestly, it just lost them so much time with all the failed engages that all the super minions were pushing in. They help in fights, you know, they're dealing damage as well, sitting in there to make it super difficult for you to land your skill shots because you have tons of minions in front of you. And that last fight was just almost impossible to win.
Serious looks across all of the players' faces. Fnatic look a bit heartbroken after defending for so long.
Yeah.
And UOL, they were celebrating immediately after. But on the walk back, as Sheepy was grinning away,